everybody.
Hello.
I know not everybody, but I know a lot of you came over from Jocelyn's channel since she just went live, and she had to reboot her router. So Jocelyn will be here in just a couple of minutes. So if you're new to me, I'm Kat the Nurse Slipper, and we do this show every Monday. I was thinking of your show, Misty. We do this show every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I appreciate all of you coming over. Normally my co-host is Julian Bearded Thrift, but he is sick. So my good friend, let's see. Oh, I did it the right way. My good friend Dale, DLJ from PA, is filling in for him. So I'm happy to have her with me. And Miss Jennifer Hayes and I also saw Dawn are dropping links to everybody's channel in the chat. So if you guys see those links, feel free to subscribe. And I will hopefully Marjorie Julian feels better. I feel really horrible. And I know he wanted to be here, but he does not. She will be here, I promise. Hold on, she's messaging me. She said she's trying to fix her signal because it was going in and out on her live. So she wants to make sure that it is good for the show. So she will be here, I promise. So I will go ahead. Do you want to go big, Dale, or do you just want to talk little?
I'll go big.
Okay, I'm going to make Dale big, and then I'll let Misty go big for all of you because we have people coming from all of our channels, and you might not know the other people. And then hopefully by the time of our introductions, Jocelyn will be here to do her introduction.
There you
but
go.
Most people probably know her, so I will let Dale go first.
Yeah, so I'm the little one in the group. And so my name on every platform is DLJ, which are my initials, from PA. I'm from Berks County, like an hour west of Philadelphia. And I'm a part-time reseller. I've been doing this for a year now, along with YouTube for a year. And I also work full-time at a credit union in the marketing department. So that's why my time is split. And I say I'm a part-time reseller. And I'm super happy to be here. Sorry that Julian being sick is what brought me here, but really excited. I think, Kat, this is your first all-female live.
It is.
So
it is.
That's super exciting to be a part of. So thank you so much for having me tonight.
You are welcome. Let me make Misty big. Jocelyn says she's in backstage, but she is not. So we're trying to work this out.
Okay. Well, hello. I'm Misty, Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter. I have been a full-time reseller for about 4 years now. I've been selling on eBay since like the early 2000s, but just doing this full time now. And I have live sales on YouTube every Tuesday and Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I have one tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I sell vintage antiques and those sorts of things. And yeah, I'm thrilled to be here. I really like these chats. I like it when I'm like, and I can just like be the passenger and not necessarily be the driver. So that's kind of fun.
Hold on, I'm trying to walk Jocelyn through this, but I can't.
No, should I do a little?
It's your time to tap dance. Yep.
Well, I don't like clowns. Yeah, I love Liberace.
Oh, yeah, I didn't want to be big. Wait, what am I doing? Oh my goodness.
That was different.
It's telling Jocelyn that she's not connected to the internet.
Oh gosh.
Hold on.
She needs an IT team.
Well, I'm thinking that had happened to Michelle once. I'm trying to think of how we remedied that. I think she may have. I wonder if she's on her. She's
on her laptop.
She might have to try on her phone.
She might have to stream from the phone. That's what I was thinking. And now my Facebook won't load. Can you message her?
Yep.
And ask her if maybe she can stream from her phone and watch on.
I will do that.
Or watch on her thing.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. She just said, let's help Dale get closer to 1,000.
So Dale, who is next to me, is 160 subs away from 1,000. So we have 700
amazing.
people in the chat right now, guys. 700 people in the chat. So
Let's make
if
it
like
happen
a quarter
tonight.
of you go and subscribe to her, she will have it. Hello, Miss Diane from Umatilla. We are trying to get Jocelyn on. She is having some technical difficulties. I see her messaging me.
Yeah, I just messaged her.
She said to stall, so we're stalling for Jocelyn.
stalling.
We're gonna
I've
make
seen
a
someone-
grand entrance.
Someone asked where from Indiana. I live in southern Indiana, so I'm kind of down near the Bloomington, Indiana area.
There's a question for you, Dale. What do you like to pick?
So lately it has been jewelry. So I actually have some of the jewelry that I should be listing on tonight.
Should be listing, but we're chatting.
That's right. It's all good. So yeah, jewelry, purses are a big thing. And then I do like to get into the hard goods but really anything that's going to make me money. So I'm learning a lot from Kat. She knows that she's been like a mentor for me over the past year that I've been trying to pick up. I just picked up some Russell Wright pottery, which I never would have known about if I hadn't been watching Kat. So yeah, I've been trying to, pick up and learn things along the way, and it's definitely been a learning process. But I do gravitate towards purses and jewelry for sure.
Yeah, and I went through a jewelry phase the beginning of last year. And if you guys watch me, you'll see I go through a lot of phases. And by that, I mean, if I get like a little bit of jewelry and it sells well, then next week I'm going to buy 50 pounds of it.
Well, yeah, you need much more of it.
And then I did scarves, same thing, bought a couple and then I bought like 1,000. So I'm a go big or go home kind of person, and I don't do anything little. But then I get bored with it and you'll see me move on. Just when everybody's like, oh, I'm getting scarves, I'm like on to the next thing. Right. I have a big mix. I have 2,500 items listed in my eBay store. And I am a full-time nurse. I say part-time reseller, but I put full-time hours into this. And because I work 3 12-hour shifts, I'm actually off 4 days a week. So I have more time than your typical Saturday and Sunday left. And we actually we did like over $130,000 last year on eBay with me being part-time.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to go part-time nursing. That is my goal by the end of this year, because I have a 2-year-old who I would like to be home with more.
Yeah. I don't know how people do it reselling and work a second job. I mean, I think that's so much harder. It's so much harder. I don't know how you guys do it. It would be very hard for me to be able to focus on 2 things like that.
Yeah. I don't know how Kat does it at the level she does it at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm on a much smaller scale. Like I have, I just passed 300 listings for the first time ever on eBay. So I'm like, that's why I always say, like, I feel like sometimes like I'm a fake reseller because I'm just nowhere near the level.
But I think a lot of people that's more realistic for. I am like, go, go, go. And I've been like that my whole life. Like if I'm sitting relaxing on the couch, I'm probably sourcing. I'm probably looking at online auctions or Goodwill or something. And that's just me. That's just what I do. Like driving in the car. If I'm not driving, if I'm riding, I'm probably listing on eBay because I take pictures beforehand. So Dina over on Facebook, and we are streaming live to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So we are getting comments from all 3 places. So I will try and get as many questions as we can. I get my boxes mostly from eBay. I do get some from Amazon. If I need them in 2 days, I'll use Amazon Prime. But I feel like feed the mouth that feeds you, and I make a lot of income off of eBay. So I would rather support fellow eBay sellers buying boxes from them than Amazon, which is a lot of times individual sellers too. But I just feel like I get so much from eBay that I would rather buy there. Where do you guys get your boxes?
Yeah, I mean, I reuse like any box that comes into this house. I've started, like I hoard them. So anytime we place an order through Amazon, if they're decent boxes, then I'm definitely keeping them. And then if, anything Poshmark, I'm fine using the priority boxes through the US Postal Service because they're going to go priority out and really have to worry about the weight and all that nonsense. So, yeah. And then
I love that. I'll put little tiny things in a big box because I'm like, oh, it's Poshmark, so I can use a free box. I'm not using a box I paid for.
Right. Like you don't have to worry about keeping it under the limit and all that stuff. So yeah, but when I've had to order just brown boxes, I think, I have ordered through Uline maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe just on,
I order from both. I mean, I get from eBay when I get my coupon. At the beginning of each quarter, I'll stock up. Wish there. Look at her. She's like, I'm here.
She's here.
Poor Jocelyn.
Oh my gosh. Well, what happened was, like, when I did the test, the signal was really weak. So I restarted my router and it still wasn't working. So I'm like, I'll restart my computer. Well, when I went to restart my computer, it decided to kick into an update. And so it's like 20 minutes until update. And I'm like, ah! And my phone was dead. So I'm running around the house and Drew's like, aren't you supposed to be live? I'm like, I need a charger. So now I have it on my phone. And my computer just finished updating. So
Of course it did.
I think we need to buy you like a case of chargers.
oh my gosh.
Like,
Like
chargers.
I even said, if there's going to be technical issues, it's going to be me.
Last time when I went live on my members live, my phone wouldn't get any signal, and it only does it when I'm live by myself. It doesn't do it when I'm live with other people. So I have to like put on like somebody else's hotspot and connect their hotspot. And so you're not alone, I promise. So
was like,
everybody,
gosh.
yeah,
I'm like,
I see.
Stall.
Yeah, Jocelyn's messaging me, stall them. I'm like, we're stalling.
We're just here.
Yeah, for sure. So, Jocelyn, do you want to go big and introduce yourself in case people don't know you? I know we had a couple people that didn't know you last time, which I was like amazed at. Would you like to go big?
Hi. Oh, go big. Yeah, sure.
I'm making you go big. Go big.
Oh, wow. Hi. I'm Jocelyn. My channel is Crazy Lamp Lady, and I buy and sell vintage stuff. And
The end.
that's what I get.
Short and sweet.
I really been really big. Like I really did get some sun today, for real.
Because it was sunny in Pennsylvania.
It was
So
beautiful.
exciting.
What was the temperature?
70. I mean,
That's
I know
nice.
nothing for Florida, but
Well, but like
There was
I
no frost on the ground in the morning.
yeah,
So
there was. I had to
we
scrape
had
off my car.
yeah, we're in that time of year that we get 30-degree swings throughout the day.
that's how Florida is like that though. Sometimes in the morning you need the heater, and then in midday you need the air conditioner, and then back at night like you turn, because it'll be like 40 or 50 and then it's 80 or 90.
Yeah.
It's a big swing. And Geo Rose said flipping girl power, which is true. So this is the first time I have had an all girl panel, and I've been doing this show for over a year. And this is the first time.
Woohoo!
Because I've always had a guy co-host. So
Girl, you frozen, Jocelyn.
she is frozen, but she looks good.
That's
Jocelyn,
right.
you can hear us.
I would be like in my frozen state.
Oh, you're back.
Oh, hi.
You were very
Jocelyn, I
nice
did
and
my best.
frozen,
I did
though.
my best, Michael. Girl, you frozen.
I'm like, wait, is everyone else frozen? And like, it took me a moment. I'm like, oh wait, no, I must be
It's just
frozen. I'm like,
That's great.
I don't know
So,
what's going on with my
Crafty
signal.
Gifts by Carolyn wants to know, what is the first step you did to get started? She goes out and thrifts, but doesn't have a clue what she would be looking for or should be looking for. By Carolyn wants to know, what is the first step you did to get started? Jocelyn, is that you? Goes out and thrifts, but doesn't have a clue.
Is it
what
me?
Who has YouTube on?
Not me.
It was me.
Dale.
I'm like,
Jocelyn's
done everything else wrong tonight, so maybe it wasn't me.
It was because I was trying to be in the chat. So I
That is so funny.
I'll
Okay,
go in the
so
corner.
I would say, I recommend if you're first getting started, sell stuff from your house that you
Yeah.
don't have to go pay money for, because you can research and see what it sells for without spending all this money and not. Where are we going?
Yeah.
Whee!
Disgusting. I have to prop you. Keep.
So,
yeah, keep going.
what would you guys say? So if they're brand new, what would you say? And you got to start. You got to just start listing. Like, you don't just wait and wait. Just start.
It's true. Yeah. Just rip that Band-Aid off and just start taking pictures and start, because until you get familiar with it, it's always going to be scary. So you just have to start somewhere. So you might as well start with what's in your house or something that you know well. Like if you're a video game freak, then start with video games. If you're into jewelry, handbags, start with that. If you love clothing, I mean, that's easy to ship. So that's a good place to start. Like, but just getting started is really the hardest part, I think. So.
Yeah, you have to just take that leap. I mean, I think all of us probably get questions a lot, you know, from people that are just beginning. And I think that you could just kind of start small, but I think the key with the eBay is to be successful on eBay, you have to list on eBay daily.
Yes.
And or if you don't have a lot of things to relist, you can end some things that have been on there for a while, typically like 30 days, and then you do sell similar and just refresh them a little bit and tweak them a little bit, maybe even change the order that your pictures are in, just some kind of little tweak to it, and then relist it. That I've done that a lot, and things that I've had forever will sell. So yeah, just being active, I think.
Jocelyn?
You know, for me, it was like finding my niche.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's
Are you frozen again?
She is, but why does she always look so cute when she's frozen?
She always looks cute. I think was she back? No.
Jocelyn,
I think what she was kind of saying is finding your niche. That I think is a hard thing too, because when I first started reselling, I was selling because I quit my teaching job, and I was selling everything, clothing. I mean, I needed to sell everything on every platform because I needed to justify me leaving my job. And I didn't enjoy selling clothing. I didn't enjoy selling, you know, jewelry and purse. I hated selling handbags because I didn't like taking pictures of them.
Well, I was going to say, but until you do it, you don't know that you don't like it.
Right,
so,
right.
Like I started with clothing because that seemed to be because I was starting on Poshmark, because I feel like Poshmark is easier to get started. It's not intimidating as eBay. So I started with clothing, and quickly you realize that I hate photographing clothing. I just despise it, and I don't want to have to steam anything. I don't want to. I don't. So, but I didn't know that until I was pretty deep into having a huge pile of clothing to list.
Right.
And then I do some shoes, but even starting out, I saw a pair of American Eagle shoes at the store, and I was like, oh, American Eagle, that's a great brand. Now, American Eagle also is a Payless brand. So I got all excited about a pair of Payless shoes. But again, I wouldn't have figured that out if I hadn't started.
Yeah.
So
well, and it helps you when you find something that you're passionate about, and it makes, when you're going out and sourcing for those things, you want to learn more about those things. So that helps you finding out what things are worth and what the value is and what things are selling for on the market. So it helps to find things that you enjoy to find. She's back.
Take 3.
I'm on my hotspot now. I gave up on the internet, so I don't know how long this is going to last, but I'm going to try it.
Okay, so tell us what you were saying about finding your niche when you're starting.
Oh, I like just finding something that you like, that you're attracted to, and learning as much about it as you possibly can. I mean, for me, it was lamps.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of my thing. And then I started branching out and learning about other things, and, you know, kind of evolving from that one point. But that was the one thing that I felt confident in. And when you feel confident in one thing, it really, you know, it helps you gain confidence in, you know, as you expand and you can learn other things. You know, some people specialize in marbles or, you know, pottery, certain potteries or glass. And it's just, there's so many things that you could, books. I know Andrew is obsessed with books, you know, so there's different things that you can find that you can specialize in. And
there's so much more to learning than just like, oh, here's the mark on the bottom of this thing. Once you get the hang of things, you can know beyond the mark on the bottom. Like for pottery, it's like, oh, this is, like this right here is made by Atterbury. So it's just, you want to constantly be learning, I guess.
And I think a lot of stuff just feeling, even clothing after selling some, like I can tell cashmere just running my hand down, like a rack. And I don't even like clothes, but you learn the more you sell of it. And that is just like, I do everything, but there's stuff I love. Like I love pottery, and I talk about in my video that I'm putting out tomorrow, but you have to sell what you can find. Like Jocelyn finds amazing glass up there in Pennsylvania. And for me, it's really hard to come by. I only can get it at like estate auctions and sales. I could probably drive 6 hours and not find a Goodwill, or at least the ones I went, because I go when I go somewhere. And, I might find one, maybe two piece. It's just not as abundant here, I feel like.
I don't think Goodwill is a great place to source from, for at least for me in my area.
I have a question for both of you. I have a question for both of you too. So I haven't been to antique malls, so I went twice now. I want to know, because antique malls are full of good stuff, right? They're full of good stuff.
Always.
And so my question is, it's like extremely overwhelming to me. I'm like, I feel it's so much. And I know for me, what I did, and this is why I want to know what you guys do. Like, how do you get over that, like, overwhelming amount of, an overwhelming amount of good stuff, like the glass. I'm like, oh, look at all this glass that I never find anywhere. But do you like look or have certain booths that like their pricing is better, or do you go in every booth, or how do you get past that overwhelming stuff, like all in one place?
That's a great question. I love it because I'm right near Denver, Pennsylvania, which has a ton of antique areas. So great question.
What do you think, Jocelyn?
All right. Well, I guess I'll try to tackle this one. Hopefully not freeze up and disappear. But I mean, for me, like going into an antique shop for the first time, it's always overwhelming. It's always like, oh my gosh, so much stuff. And, like a lot of the times I'll spot something that I really like and I'll like go straight for it. And it's like $800. And I'm like, oh man, it's like but it, it helps to learn stuff as well. It's not just about picking, but like you can learn so much because, that thing that's $800, when I find it at, in Kat's case, an auction, or when I see it at Goodwill, it's like, oh my gosh, I know, like maybe it's not worth $800, but I know that's, a good piece that's worth some money. But when I go into these places, I usually kind of just breeze through and, look at things. And when I find a booth that has good deals, that's when I like remember I need to come back to this booth. And that's kind of like, I go to the same antique malls over and over again. And it's funny because a lot of the people are like, well, don't you ever go to any of the other like booths? You always go to the same booths over and over again. And it's like, because I know that's where I can find the deals for resale. It's not that the other booths don't have good stuff. It's that there's just not, I can't buy that stuff to flip for a profit. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right. And another thing that a lot of people say is, well, they don't know what they have. And in a lot of cases, they do know what they have, but they got it for so cheap and they're just, want to make a couple bucks on it and flip it and move it and keep it moving. And I admire that business, because that's, what I do. I start all my auctions at $4 just to keep things moving and keep it going. So one of my favorite booths at Black Rose that I go to a lot is right in the door, and everything's like $4, $6. It's like, I call it better than thrift store prices because everything's so cheap. He knows what he has. I've talked to him and he's told me the sales that he makes in his booth on a monthly basis. It's insane. It's insane. But he moves volume. So the volume he moves, he makes, I bet you he does better than a lot of the people in there who have their stuff sitting.
It's the Walmart model of thrifting.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. And, so those are the booths I look for. I look for the booths that have the deals, and that you can usually find one or two in the antique malls. It's just look for them.
When we go into the same antique malls and stuff that we occasionally we'll find some new ones to go to, but if we're staying around a 2-hour radius, we kind of stick to the ones that we know that we found stuff before. And I say this all of the time, but I mean, you go through and we lost Kat.
I'm not lost.
Oh, okay. You go through and there are some booths that I don't even go into because I know that they never have a sale. The stuff there's no turnover. And I mean, I owned a brick and mortar antique store, and I every month would have at least a 20% off sale for an entire weekend because I wanted to move stuff out and get new stuff in. And I just don't understand the concept of people paying booth rent and then not selling anything. And that's telling me two things. One, they don't want to sell their things, for whatever reason, they just don't want to sell it. I put
prices like that on some of our stuff. Because
you don't really get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've done that too. You put like a not for sale price on it because you're like, it won't hurt me if it sells for that much, but I really kind of like just looking at it, But when your entire booth is just filled with smalls, which I love to buy smalls, but I mean, if an antique booth would have a 20% off sale and show that on social media and market it, they would sell so much stuff in a weekend. I just don't understand the concept of it, but.
So that helps a little. So if I go, I know, the booth that I got, that cute, quilt angel doll, her prices were almost all under $4 a piece at a quarter, 50 cents. So if I go to these malls and I go over and over, I will learn basically the boost. I mean, obviously, if something catches my eye, though, I can look and you're saying, learn that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You need
to just
super chat.
Well, yeah, it can be pretty overwhelming, but I think though you just kind of just walk through one time and then go through a second time. Just kind of make a quick lap around, and then you can walk into right. Well, you can walk into a booth and just look at a couple price tags, and you're like, okay, and then
next.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
all right, I saw the super chats, guys. I just want to say, Dave, I will get yours with your question for Jocelyn, and I see there's another one. The chat is literally flying. I cannot even read any of it. We have 1,300 people in the chat, so I am doing my best. I promise. I'm going to get Caroline's question real quick. We will answer that, and then we will answer Dave's. Caroline wants to know, what kind of auctions do you source from? Are they online for the types of good, or do you have to wade through estate sales? I will tell you, if you guys are new to my channel, I source almost all from online auctions because I have a 2-year-old who is not fun, grumpy at estate sales and garage sales, and I work full time. So I can source from online auctions while I'm at work if it's slow, while I'm sitting on the couch. And I primarily source from online estate auctions. So that's what I like. I will occasionally get overstock, but mostly I like to find I love my favorite is pottery, and I love the glass stuff as well. But I will sell anything. I will sell anything. So what about you?
Auctions.
What?
You got me into auctions. It's your fault.
You got me into auctions.
Everything I learned from these women here. So yeah, highbids.com. Kat is the one that first introduced me to that. And even doing that, I found quickly that I don't want to pay for the shipping and handling on top of the auction fee to get something shipped to me. So I'm only looking locally, and there's primarily two. One's about 20 minutes from me. The other's about 40 minutes. And the 20-minute one, I even prefer anyway. So I usually I'll find that he runs weekly auctions on High Bid. And so that's the one, like, I constantly check that out. And occasionally then I'm like, once I put watches on a few things, and then if I win one of them, then like the game is on, because now as long as I'm driving for one,
Yes, we feel the same way.
yeah, drive for more. So
I do that. I've like banned myself from looking at them, because I'll get like, I'm like, oh, this is good. And I'm not even paying attention to when I have to go pick the things up.
Right.
And then it's like, I don't have time to drive all the way. You know? So yeah, you have to really pay attention, and you have to kind of like look at, when you're on the online auctions, when do they end, and when must I go pick up my items? Mm-hmm. A lot of times though, you can like I've contacted an auction house and say, I'm going to be in the area on Thursday. Is that okay? And if they have the space, they'll be like, sure. Because if you don't pick it up, they're going to get the stuff and your money. So,
right.
You know,
I actually, the place that's 20 minutes from me, there was like a month where I bought from him a few weeks in a row. And then I went back like 2 months later, and he was like, I have stuff for you from the last time that you were here that we forgot to put in your car. And I was like, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, when you buy so much, it's like that, unless it's that one thing that you bought everything else because of. I want to read Dave sent a super chat, and I think the other one got lost, guys. It literally went like that and it's gone. So Dave's is a question for Jocelyn. Dave is Midwest picker. He said, how do you find the time to resell, run 2 YouTube channels, and have a family all at the same time? You were an inspiration.
That is a great question. I don't sleep really much at all. I just, every day is a hustle. It's just like every day is, what am I doing today? I have to go film a video. I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to get the kids by 3 o'clock. I have to get them home. I have to make them dinner. And then I'm up all night I have ladies who help me list. I think they might be lurking in the chat. They help me list. So every night I go on and I make the list.
Dagny was here before we started. Dagny
she's probably like, where is Jocelyn? She's having she probably was having technical difficulty.
I'm trying to see.
So I do have help. I don't do it all by myself. I have a lot of help from the ladies who help me list. I have help in my Facebook group. I have Mary who helps me answer questions on eBay, and she also helps with our group. And we have a whole team of people helping on our group on Facebook. I have a lot of help, so I can't take all the credit. Andrew does a lot too. He's constantly running to pick up all the stuff from the auctions that I like. So he's constantly running and doing stuff.
I'm watching 2 now. I sent Jocelyn a couple of things that I'm looking at, and those are pickup Thursday, so I'm working. So I've already okayed it with Brad. If I bid, he will go gather the thing.
He'll go gather.
He said I told him, but So you're very welcome, Anthony. Guys, let me pop this up here. How can I do it? Oh my gosh, I'm not used to the Jocelyn. I don't know how you do it because I'm not used to the chat this fast. So Anthony has been watching me, and I've been watching him since he was in the beginning, and hopefully he hit 1,000 subs. He was like 13 away before we started. So
yay!
And he plays guitar amazing, and he plays it on his channel. So that is awesome. So thank you. Here is Cheap Finds Gold Mines was this other super chat that I missed. And he said he wants to know our thoughts on, or she, I don't know. I think he wants to know our thoughts on outrageous Goodwill prices.
Yeah, well, it's part of the reason I haven't been filming as many Goodwill videos.
Well, Goodwill's selling online. They're selling on their auction sites, and they're selling on eBay as well. So they've hired, I know for a fact that they have hired people to go through the raw donations, and those people then send things to be listed on eBay.
Yeah, so they're hijacking all of the good stuff for their online auctions.
They miss stuff though. I mean,
they do.
A lot of people have commented now that I'm posting videos on Facebook. A lot of people, and it's so funny because like I deal with trolls on YouTube, and it's like, it's whatever, you know, every few days a troll, but on Facebook, oh my gosh, the trolls are just like, they come in droves, and it's like, ah. And the latest thing is that I have people go ahead of me and salt the shelves and put stuff on the shelves for me to find, because it's a giant marketing ploy for Goodwill. And I'm like, no, that's it. I'm like, oh, okay. Is that your conspiracy theory? Yeah. So it's just like, they do miss stuff, and they deal in so much volume that it's like, a lot of the times it's like, maybe they have too much and they're just putting it all out, you know?
And they get it for free.
Yeah. The last few times Dagny and I have been to the magical Goodwill in all the land, it's been really disappointing. The prices have just skyrocketed.
Yeah. I went to here locally. I'm like, I'm never going back to that one, because like it's on 5th Street Highway in Reading.
In Reading, okay.
Near the Fairgrounds Mall. And I'm like, yeah, no. Like I remember I went in there and I wanted to do a thrift haul, and I basically was just like, no, I'm not doing that. Nice try. Like
it's kind of discouraging in a way, like, because we've always had such reasonable prices at our Goodwills, like, and I think that's why it's so unbelievable for some people who have watched my videos for so long, is because the prices are so good. There's good stuff on the shelves, and I think that a lot of people just, it's too good to be true. Well, apparently it's too good to be true, because the prices are going up.
And it's hard because, as you know, making videos for YouTube, the Goodwill videos are the ones that typically get the most views. People want to see the Goodwill videos. So that can be really hard, because I mean, it will take me, and I've done hauls that I just did one recently. I went to 3 different Goodwills and bought 3 things. 3 things.
Yeah. That's painful.
It is. It is. So I tell you what, I love me a vendor mall. That's my favorite place to go, is a vendor mall. Now, and you can, if you sell clothing or shoes, you can find those. It's like an indoor flea market, basically.
That's what I found. That's what I found when I went. So it's right by my dentist. My dentist is like an hour from me, and it's there. And that's what it is. It's like a giant vendor mall. Most of it is fantastic. There's other stuff too. I know Kayla, the homeschooling picker, has 2. Like, she has a clothing and a shoe booth inside of one of those, and that's how she like moves quantity too. Like the stuff that isn't like good enough to go on eBay, she can move it fast in her booth there. So that's how mine is. Terry wants to know, do we spend a certain amount of time listing every day?
Well, I don't, because I currently only have like 175 things listed on eBay, because I have live sales on YouTube I have things listed on YouTube. I mean, I sell on YouTube twice a week. So I haven't listed anything on eBay in a very long time. I just haven't had time to. I'm hoping that I'm going to be hiring a lister hopefully soon. And we'll see how that goes.
That's a beautiful thing, though. You're out of the photographing and
it's wonderful.
Yeah,
it's wonderful. But you know, with having a live sell on YouTube, there's not enough time. There are so many sales on YouTube right now that there's a sale happening every 15 minutes on YouTube, it seems like, lately.
I spent a lot of time listing this weekend because Dina was away. I was like,
way to go, Dina.
I know.
You're not allowed to take a day off, Dina.
And it had been a while since I sat down and did some listings. I had been spoiled. But she came today, and Dagny was away too. She was away. But Dina came in today, and she's like, "Wow, you did a lot of listings." I was like, "Yeah, I worked like 4 hours." And she's like, 4 hours? So like, I think I did 4 hours Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 4 hours. And usually I can get like 20 listings done in 4 hours. So
yeah.
That's decent. I have done that. Yeah.
We do.
Because I'm like between the shed and the house, so I haven't been listing very much at all because I'm all discombobulated and like my stuff is out in the shed, but my photo booth is in here. But the computer is coming Friday, which is the last thing that we need to complete the shed being functional. So Friday,
Nice.
hopefully everything will be moved. I am gonna tell Steve thank you, and I'm gonna give them a dolphin because I haven't given anybody a dolphin. So for all my
Yes,
super chats,
yes.
I'm gonna give you time for a dolphin.
Super chat.
I thought you had a new one. I thought you were saying I'm going to give him a Dalton. And I was like,
you have a Dalton? You get a Dalton. You get a Dalton.
and Julian gave you one. Julian gave you a super chat too.
Did I really miss Julian?
Yeah, so he's here. I hope you're feeling better.
I saw him here and he messaged me on Instagram, and he better know I stream from my phone, so I cannot answer while I'm live. So any of you that message me while I'm live, you will not get a reply. Donna Diley wants to know, how do you find legit online auctions so you don't get ripped off? I recommend HiBid. There are a lot of good auctions. The ones I'm watching now actually aren't on HiBid or any of the big sites. They're little local online estate auctions. So if you go to estate sales in person, ask them. That's how, like, mine had, like, they had a pad out at the estate sale. I signed up and then they sent me an email, and it was kind of cool because it's a network of all the estate companies, not all of them, but it's a lot of them locally that are on like this little site. It's not a big site, it's just they have like 2 auctions going at a time, but I find a ton of good stuff. So, and if you're going to pick stuff up, I would think, I don't know. What do you guys say? How do you know they're legit if you're bidding?
If it's an auction company that's, been around for a while too, I guess just do your research on the company. You can look them up on the Better Business Bureau sometimes too to see if they've had any, issues against them. But HiBid I think is pretty fairly safe.
Yeah, we use word of mouth. For us, Eric has been doing auctions for a long time, and a lot of our friends have been doing auctions for a long time. So they know a lot of the auction houses, and we tell him, what about this one? And he could tell you exactly, well, they're known for this, or, and so you kind of get an idea for like, is there something shady going on there? So even though like they are an established auction house, sometimes there's like, certain things that just, are like, maybe they're doing something they're not supposed to, so it's hard to know unless, and that's one of the reasons why after, we jumped right into it, we started, buying at all these different places, and we kind of got a sense of, well, we don't really like the way that one does things, so we kind of backed off, and then we found another one, and maybe we didn't like the way they did things. So we kind of settled into, okay, well, these are the ones we like. We know them. We can trust them. They do a good job. And so it's kind of like a toss up, I guess. You kind of have to figure it out as you go, which is a little bit scary when you're bidding lots of money on stuff. But that's just kind of how it works. But yeah, that's kind of how we figured it out with help from friends. And, we have a lot of friends at the flea market, and a lot of the guys from the flea market, they go to auctions and stuff. So we were able to rely on them and get help from them.
And networking is so important, I think, in this community. You network with the antique store owners, the shop owners. You network with your flea markets and your auctioneers and stuff. And I think that you can get a lot of kind of like inside information, if you will, of like upcoming auctions that are going to be coming up. And so I think networking and building a positive relationship with, with the owners and the auctioneers and stuff is a really positive thing to do.
Yeah. And remember that people talk, like one you don't, you want to be careful not to burn bridges, because people do talk to other people and stuff, and so you got to be careful when you're networking and when you're meeting people,
Right.
And who you're talking to and what you're saying. And
absolutely.
You don't know who
your
knows
circle
who.
of friends close. It's okay to be nice to everybody.
Right. Well, and I think that's important.
Little circle.
it's important too when you're filming, like to not like go into an antique mall and just be and just,
absolutely.
you know, talking horrible about the booths, or because people are watching and people know, and they, you know, it's not right to do that. I don't think.
One thing I always, you know, I always try to say something positive. Even if I walk in a booth and everything's overpriced, I'll be like, "Oh, look at this beautiful lamp," and then that's, you know, or I don't film at all and I don't say anything at all. I just I try to always have something positive to say. And you know, if I'm saying, you know, if another antique mall, if I go and ask permission to film there, and they are like, "Oh, well, she always has something nice to say about this other mall, so I'll give," versus. Oh, she always says something horrible. You know, they're not gonna be less apt to say,
and I think sometimes when we're out and we're filming and we're looking at things, we're so like thinking about resell. And so I think we have to like kind of step outside of that. Well, this booth is too expensive. And it may be too expensive for resale. So I think it's important to say, you know, this booth is a great for a retail price, a collector. And because it, I mean, now we kind of get that, we kind of get in that one track mind where we're like, well, this is a crappy booth because it's so expensive, but it's expensive for what we want to do.
I always try to say things like the booth owner is standing right there and I'm critiquing.
Yes.
I mean, that's the mind frame that I'm in. I'm like, oh my gosh, if they were watching my video, the things that I'm saying would hurt their feelings. Like, I just need to make sure that what I'm saying is not going to hurt.
Yeah, are they going to ban me?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I found Julian's super chat. For those of you that don't know, who's peeking in, Jocelyn?
Andrew. You want to say hi?
Hi, Andrew.
He says no.
Come on.
Add the testosterone.
He's so shy. Andrew's so shy and all.
Shy.
He's just a little timid, little shy baby.
Oh, Misty teasing you.
Don't make me send you clowns.
Don't make me send you clowns.
Andrew's gonna find lots of clowns.
No.
In your box and send them to you.
Do you see my clown?
And it'll be full of clowns.
Oh my gosh, Kat, why is that on your wall? That's horrible.
Did you just put that there today, or has it been there?
No, it's been there. It's just my camera's not normally tilted that high.
Right.
So, Julie, I found Julian's super chat. Julian, thank you. Julian is normally here with me, but he is sick. So, thank you for the super chat, and thank you
Hope
for
you feel better, Julian.
Hanging out with us.
Feel better.
So, get better so you can come back next week.
Yeah.
I did joke with Kat when she asked if I could step in. I said, yes, absolutely. I'll step in. I'm so excited. Oh, I mean, I'm really sorry that Julian's sick.
Poor Julian. Jessamy wants to know how tall you are, Jocelyn.
I am 5'9".
Get out.
Yeah.
I
I'm
just
you're
like, I'm
tall.
5'5". Yeah.
I am. Everyone who meets me,
like average size.
They're always like, you're much taller in person. I mean, that's usually the first thing everyone says.
Oh yeah. That would probably have been the first thing that I said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they're saying, like Jocelyn says, well priced, but not for me. And Yvonne says, not enough meat on the bone. I highlighted this because Yvonne and Lindy Glenn will be my guests next week. Yeah, so they will be on next week. But yeah, it's not necessary. And like Jocelyn said, you can learn from them and their prices that are higher, because then you're like, oh, I remember that thing. And like she said, it might not be worth the $800 they want, but it is probably worth picking up if you see it lower price somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Did I highlight the sin in the clowns?
Oh gosh. Jocelyn's going to keep that coffin clown.
Carolyn wants to know, what about Salvation Army? I don't really have any close to me, so I can't really comment on.
They're not good. They're not good in my area.
We have a few near us. There's one not too far from the Goodwills. I used to go there all the time back before Crazy Lands Lady. When I first started picking, I used to get some incredible deals there. I remember the one time, like those real life dolls that they make. I found a toddler version of that. Oh, am I muted? Can Can you hear me?
No,
No,
you're
you're
muted.
Okay. I was muted because the train was going by, and I'm like, wait, am I muted right now? I got a toddler doll, and I paid $7 for it, and I sold it for like $250. So it was really good. And then I think they hired someone who was like on top of it, because from that point forward, nothing old ever made it out. Like, it was just like, it was done. And so I just crossed that one off my list and stopped going. And I haven't been back since, and it's been a few years. So
Yeah, I don't have any super close to me. And there was one like maybe 40 minutes away that I stopped at when I was on my way somewhere else. And I didn't find anything. So it's not worth it for me to try again because it's not close.
The one in my area, which is still like 40 minutes away, and when I say my area, it's full of a lot of broken things. It's just not, it's like they'll just put anything on the shelves. I mean, I have found some things in there, but I don't go in there very often just because I would rather go to the antique mall. I don't know. Then I'd rather spend my time in there than go into the Salvation Army.
I think once I get over the of all the stuff, I will like antique malls. But I'm not over it. I'm not over it.
I was raised in an antique store, so me growing, I thought everybody sold antiques. I mean, I just thought that's what everybody did. I mean,
because that's what you knew.
Right. And Jocelyn's kids they'll grow up the same way. They'll be like, this is just normal. It's normal to go to rummage sales and Goodwill. I mean, it's just a normal thing. You think everybody does this. And so when people talk about, antiques being so intimidating and stuff, I'm like, well, they're not that bad, are they? Doesn't everybody do this? But yeah.
It's funny to watch people glaze over when you talk about it.
I know.
Like, antiques, and they're like, uh-huh.
Yeah, and you're like, but don't you know? Oh, yeah.
Carrie wants to know, how long did it take each of you to make this a full-time job? Well, for me and Dale, I'm not Misty. I don't know about Misty, but me and Dale are not full-time at this. I would like to go part-time at my regular job and full-time at this by the end of the year. But I am over 2.5 years of putting a lot of time into it, and I am still not comfortable enough to feel like I could go full-time for another at least couple of years.
It wasn't as scary for me because my husband, he kind of makes the money, or he did. He did around here when I was teaching and stuff. So it really wasn't as scary for me. I wasn't, I had his income too to help for the scary parts. I mean, we both have to work, but I can make enough money to make up for what was lacking. And so it wasn't that scary for me. But I would be terrified if I was a single mom, or if I was like the sole breadwinner. It would be scary. It would be very scary to make that leap, to do that, to make that decision. Jocelyn has a pretty good insight on this.
Well, if you go back and you watch some of my early videos with Crazy Lamp Lady, I used to say, I don't do this full time. I'm just part-time doing this. So it kind of happened while I was, making videos. And so it's kind of, somebody commented on my video today about like, oh, the progression of my business and how much it's grown, and how I used to hem and haw over spending a few dollars on something, and now it's like, we spent $4,000 at the auction. And it's like, and I think the moment for me, like when I kind of had to go full time, was when I quit my job. I was like, all right, well, I'm done with this, so I guess I'm going to have to make this work. And that was the beginning of 2019, I would have to say. So yeah, it was just, I was leaving my job after 10 years, and I had to make it work. So I just kind of jumped into it as best I could, and I had to make it work, and it worked. So I'm glad it worked. I don't know what I would be doing if it didn't, but I was fortunate, like Misty. I have Andrew, who's very supportive, and he helped out a lot. He sold a lot of coins so that I had money so that I could go out and buy stuff and flip it.
It's so helpful to have a partner in life that is so supportive and kind of shares in your passion and in your vision of what you want to make out of this. So that's so beneficial to have that partner, in life and in business and in everything else. So that's having that support at home is very important.
Matt says, have a lovely spring, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
I'm having a lovely spring.
Pounds. He said it with an accent.
I had look where is that's not American.
That's a euro, right?
Yeah, that's
Is that
what I'm saying. Or it's pounds, isn't it?
yeah, it's pounds.
Do
So
an
he said it with an accent, which I can't do. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry.
Priscilla wants to know, how much money did you start with? Nobody wants to talk. I will say I started with like nothing, pretty much, a couple $100. And I took all of it I made, I kept putting it back in and putting it back in.
You have to do that.
I put it back in for 2 years, but I now have close to $100,000 in inventory listed because I have not paid myself very much because I have my full-time nursing job. But this year I would like to pay myself. What a concept, right? And get some out. But it depends on how much money you need, because if you start with a little, you can keep putting that in and building it up. But if you need to pay bills with that money, then you can't build as fast as somebody who doesn't have to have that money. So I think you could start with nothing. You could start with stuff in your house and just keep reinvesting it. I don't think you need a ton to start.
I don't really look at it at that angle. Like, I don't really look at it as I started it with X amount of money. I don't know. I don't know. I just never looked at it that way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have very much money starting into this, but I do know that the money that I made, I reinvested into it. And I think that was really important, to reinvest what I had and what I made, and reinvest it and just keep rolling it over and rolling it over. I feel like that was important. So, I remember one time going to the antique mall, and this was when I first started filming Crazy Lamp Ladies videos, and I barely had like maybe $50 in my bank account, and I wanted to go out and film a video, but I couldn't really buy anything. So I just went out and I just talked about the stuff that I found, and I think I ended up buying something for $8, and I like listed it for like 25, and I made, some money. And it was like, I didn't really have a lot, but as I worked harder and I did it, I just continued to flip that money and continue to let it grow into more inventory, and that's kind of how my business grew. So I don't think it really matters how much you start with. It's how you use what you spend that money, that you make.
And I think reinvesting it not only in your items to resell, but kind of reinvesting it into items that are going to help your business, like your computer, your printer, or, a camera, or, whatever you need to help improve your business. It doesn't always have to be on just like buying more stuff.
Yeah. So Nikki loves snacks. I like that name.
Nikki loves snacks.
We have any advice for new YouTubers? That's a good name. That's a good start.
That's the best way to start, is to have a good name.
You already step one.
Step one.
You did it.
Step one. Check.
That's awesome. I guess
consistently,
yeah.
I think. Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to figure it out. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, if you think about it on the same terms of eBay, you have to consistently list on eBay. You have to consistently put out content.
You get out of it what you put into it.
It's just ripping off the Band-Aid and doing it for the first time. Like, I mean, if you go back to any of our very first videos,
don't go back.
I know.
Oh no, I want you. I said this last night in my chat. I said, go, because everyone had that very first video.
Yes. Everyone starts somewhere.
And I think that it's fun to go back to a YouTube channel, like maybe Jocelyn's channel, or because my first videos were bad, like shooting in vertical. Like, I wasn't even.
I did that.
It was horrible. But everyone has their very first video. So do that. Go back and look at people's very first video. And you can see you start and you're very awkward and you're like, hi, but then you get more comfortable and you'll kind of grow into it. Yeah. So I think that it's important to go back and look at people's, because we all had those very first videos
somewhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, consistency, being active in the community helps. Like if this is your niche, be active in the
here
community.
tonight.
And comment. And I think don't spam your channel. I think spamming your channel looks horrible. And I won't say I've never done that in the beginning when I was like a baby YouTuber. But now I've realized that if I am in chats and participating and I am providing good information, then people want to know who I am if I'm helping them. So I think just being active in the community, even like commenting down in the comment section, if someone asks a question about something and helping them, then they're going to want to know who you are. And if they see you more often, then they are more likely to check you out.
Yes, spamming is not very nice, especially like during somebody's sale when they're having a live sale. And you're trying to like, I'm having a sale on so-and-so during my sale.
Now.
I'm selling this thing.
Experience with that.
I think
I will say,
also being real
remember, like,
is important.
at the very
being real.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Did you say be real?
Yeah, what were you saying?
Well, I was going to say, like, at the very beginning, I remember, like, I started last February with really reselling and YouTube, like, all at the same time. And I think that, like, Emily Conway and Gorgeous and the Block Vintage all were doing the Thrift 30 collaboration. And I just thought, like, it was just awesome to see, like, other people collaborating together like that. So then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to find some other reseller YouTubers who are, small. Like, I'm not going to go ask Jocelyn, hey, do you want to do a Thrift 30 challenge with me? So I went and found other people that had like 300, 500 subscribers. And I was like, hey, do you want to do this Thrift 30 challenge with me? And like, I definitely like put myself out there. But I think that collaborating with others, this week I did a, what was it called? The Epic Listing Challenge. So there were 15 of us total. And last week it was really like just challenge yourself to list more than you normally would. So each of us are at different points. I think somebody might have had like a goal of 200 listings for the week. I had a goal of 50 listings for the week, but I will tell you, I've never even listed 20 things in a week. I don't think when I say like I'm small. But we had that fun and, challenged each other, encouraged each other throughout the week. We all posted our videos yesterday, and then we were watching each other's videos and commenting on each other's videos, and just getting involved in a community and doing collaborations is, I think, a great way to start growing your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Philly Flipper, thank you. The first time, it might be the last time. I have a male co-host. I'm not like kicking Julian out. He's sick. It's been 3 girls. Julian was on with me and Jocelyn and Misty last time.
Yeah.
And sometimes he just sits there and people tell me I don't let him talk and he doesn't mind.
Why do you talk over him all the time?
Well, I've heard that on my Monday night shows. It was like, it's the Misty show. And I'm like, well, it is on my channel. I'm just saying.
I mean, it kind of is.
It kind of is my show, but whatever.
Carol wants to know how long we've been reselling. Oh, Dale just answered that too, though, right? You said you started February last year.
Yep.
4 years ago, full time 4 years ago.
Oh, I started like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I started like in the 90s off and on, and I have like done it and then stopped and then done it and then stopped. And I've told this story, but this is why I sell a bunch of different stuff because I get bored. So this time, am I tin canning?
Yeah, it's all good.
You guys talk.
I've been selling on eBay like back and forth since like the early 2000s and stuff too. It's just like
that's what I was going to say. Yeah,
like I don't need this picture on my wall anymore. I'm going to take it off and.
Or like I have an old camera, or like things that I knew were definitely worth something to sell. But I feel like it's always just kind of like been in my blood too. And I have two daughters that are now, my one daughter's 19, the other is 17. So when they were little and outgrowing stuff like crazy, I did, oh gosh, what's it called? Just Between Friends, which is like
JBS. That's next week.
Yeah, the JBS sale. Yeah, so it's like a twice annual in-person
consignment sale. I get all the clothes there. I go and I go on the last day, it's 50% off, and I can fill a trash bag for like $50, and the clothes last them like till the next
sale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like I've always kind of been dipping my toes, and then I've been like I said, my kids are teens now. The last one's a senior, so they're gonna be like, I'm just gonna have more time on my hands than I have in the past 18 years. So I decided, like, what can I do what's a hobby that I can do that isn't going to cost me a lot of money, because I didn't have a lot of extra money. And so I thought this was a nice little hobby that might actually earn me some money.
And so it was fun.
Yeah. How I got started.
This one first. Patty wants to know what trends in reselling, vintage or antique, are each of you excited about?
Oh, trends.
I don't know trends, so I'm going to bow out of this question. I buy what I love.
Well, I think as far as the vintage, fairy lamps are very on trend right now.
They are.
Tanala pottery is very on trend right now. Fenton, uranium glass, all those things are on trend right now.
A ton of that.
Yeah. And someone had told me that they think cut glass is starting to become a trend. And I'm like, really?
Someone has been saying clear glass, cut glass is going to be trending in 5 years from now. I don't know how they know this.
What do they mean by cut glass? Like, no, you
glass.
Fire and ice, but that's
not. No, that's recycled glass.
Yeah.
Okay. So different.
Yeah. Recycled or fire and light glass is just like, it's just everyone wants to find it. It's just, it's very on trend right now, but it's hard to find.
Please move on.
Yes, everybody. Listen, I pick up like everything that might be fire and light. Like,
I know, me too. I'm like,
oh, me too.
What's on the bottom of this?
Because it isn't always marked. Yeah, and you're just like, but I'm telling you what, I found one, and when you find it and you feel it in your hands, you're like that. Okay, now I
haven't found it, and I can't afford $300 to buy one.
Oh, isn't it crazy? I would love to have $300 to spend on a candlestick,
just so I can feel what it feels like. But I agree. Like once I learned uranium glass, now I'm like, boom, that's what it is. Once you have it in your hands and you feel it and you can look at it, but I cannot afford a fire and light, and I have not found one. So
yeah, it's hard to find.
I feel about jewelry. Like now I know, like if I pick up jewelry, like I can kind of tell, even if it doesn't have a maker's mark or tag, like whether it's a better quality or not.
Yeah. Well, next week, Yvonne is going to be on. Is it next week, Kat?
Yeah.
So make sure that you're tuned in next Tuesday night, because Yvonne is the fire and light lady. She's the fire and light source. Yeah.
Alicia, thank you for saying you love us. She said she's been sourcing since December and has so much inventory. I can't get over my fear of listing. Please help. You just have to do it. You just have to do it. Like
maybe like what
like
I wonder, what are you? Yeah. What are you afraid of? Like, are you afraid that you're going to price something wrong, or are you afraid that your pictures aren't going to be good? Like maybe even just like being real with yourself and identifying like what's scaring you.
It seems like a lot of people are very intimidated by shipping.
I agree.
Yeah.
Especially breakables.
Yeah. So maybe starting with something easy to ship, that you definitely know what the value of it is, so you're not worried about the pricing. And yeah, just take the pictures and get it listed. Yard Sales and Dreams had a $14.99.
I'm getting down there, I promise.
Okay. I also think it's like the fourth time that she's posted her question. So then she finally said,
I'm sorry, Danny.
Super chatting it.
I'm trying. the best advice for those of us just getting started, I would say just get started. And somebody emailed me the other day, and I don't know if you're in the chat, and I probably came off mean, and I apologize if I did, but they emailed me and I don't even think they included their name. They said, my buyer didn't pay enough for shipping. It's going to cost $14 more than they paid. And my response was, you didn't charge enough for shipping.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not they didn't pay enough.
You pay to
That
learn.
hurts.
You
Yeah,
do.
And that was my response is, you're going to learn along the way. You're going to make mistakes, and hopefully it's only a $14 mistake. And next time you'll know to put the calculations in right. Hopefully. We all still, I just had one I sent out that had free shipping because of an eBay glitch, but that's my bad. I didn't cancel the order. I sent them their mug that they paid $9.99, and it cost me $12 to ship. But guess what? I'm going to double check that I don't have free shipping on.
Right.
That's right. It only takes a couple times for you to to learn, especially if you make your own. It's one thing to learn from watching us, but you just have to sit down, do it yourself, and you're going to learn from your own mistakes a lot faster than you will hearing us talk about it. I'm going to turn my camera off a minute, but just because I need to plug in my laptop.
Okay, bye. I'm back. Danny
Yeah,
wants to know, do we remember the first shock? Oh, I put this question up earlier and then I clicked on something else. Danny, you did not have to super chat, just yell at me in all caps. The first shocking item that sold on eBay that got you hooked. Mine was a Stangle bird that was in 2004.
Gosh, there isn't any one thing. It's just constantly hearing that ding. You hear that ding and the ding and the ding and the ding and the ding, and then it just, you want to hear that sound more. And then
I bet Jocelyn's phone is full of dings because of all the auctions.
It's going off right now. It's going like crazy. My
auctions are ending.
That's how it was with Brad's Pokemon card the other night. I was like, what the hell? Because we don't do that many auctions.
When you have something and you list it and immediately it'll have 8 people watching it, and you're like, okay, 8 people are already watching this, and you just listed it 15 minutes ago, so that when that auction is gonna end, you just and it's fun to just watch it. You can watch it in real time,
the last 30 seconds of an auction.
Yeah, it is. It's just that thrill of it. It doesn't even have to be anything that's a huge major profit. It's just who's it gonna go for?
Right.
So
I think a big one for me was a photo printer, and I got it off of Shop Goodwill online for $60, and it sold.
Take that, Goodwill.
3 days for $680.
Yay! Yay!
And I had the box to ship it in because they shipped it to me.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And that was with shipping. I think I paid $20 on Shop Goodwill, and it sold for $680. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was going to say about Carnival. Oh, go ahead.
Carnival glass bowl. It was a Carnival glass bowl. I paid $5 for it. I think it sold for $300. And I was in my first week or two of picking. I was just like, oh, I'll try this. And I saw this Carnival glass bowl, and it was actually at a yard sale, and they had it sitting up behind where they were taking payments. I'm like, is that for sale up there? And they were like, oh, this. Yeah. How much do we want for this? $5. I'm sorry. It's going to have to be $5. They were $5. I was going to be
that was too much.
I can't say that. I was like, well, my grandma has a lot of stuff like that. I think I was like, I'll take it for $5. And then it sold for $300, $350 or something like that. I was like, yay. Oh, I love Carnival glass. And then now I buy a lot of Carnival glass.
Well, and you buy it too because it has that memory and stuff that with your grandma having her collection and stuff too. Yeah. So it's something that strikes something in your. And
I do. I have my great grandmother's and my great aunt's Carnival glass. So I don't sell that.
No.
Dale, do you remember the one item that you sold that wowed you about reselling?
Yeah, so I think it was, if you remember, I had a silver and turquoise watch that I got.
Are you talking about the bear claw?
Yes. Yeah, I remember first I posted it on eBay. I said something about like bear claw, and they took it down because they said like I couldn't sell animal parts or something.
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
It was a watch.
Yeah, it was a watch. So I relisted it, and I had paid I think $25 for it, and it sold for $200. I was like, what? Somebody actually paid. Like, it was the first thing that I probably had priced high like that, and I thought, let's see if somebody's actually going to pay that. And then I was so nervous, like, okay, are they going to pay for it? Okay, they paid for it. Okay, then I'm shipping it. Okay, is it going to get there safely? Are they going to try to return it? Are they going to say it didn't work? But it was a beautiful sale. Like, everything went smoothly. And I was like, yes, I need more of that, please.
Caroline wants to know, do you think having a YouTube channel is essential to bring customers to your eBay store, and can you succeed without it?
I don't think that it's essential, but I think it doesn't hurt.
I mean,
Right.
I've been selling for 10 years, and I only started Crazy Lamp Lady 2-3 years ago. So, I mean, as I was only doing part-time, of course, I wasn't a full-time reseller. But I was making money. I was making it work. So I didn't even think to put it on YouTube. And I was just doing just fine.
Yeah. And I don't know why, but I don't get that many viewer sales, and I sold over 100,000 last year. So I know for me, I do get some. I get like 1, maybe 2 in a week. If that, I don't get a lot. So for me, I definitely can succeed without it. And all of us have been doing it before we had our YouTube. So it might help, but I don't think it's essential to, I don't feel it's essential to any of our businesses, really.
No, any advertisement on social media will help, but it isn't essential. Like, you can still do it and not have a YouTube channel. It is hot again.
I love Tanola.
I know it. I think it's kind of like, it's like everything from the 70s is coming back in again now.
I don't, what's Tanola? I'm so out of it.
Some Mexican pottery.
Ah, okay.
I'm like, I
But
probably have one, but I would have
Tanola-
to fill my butt.
Certain Tanola is better than others. If it's signed by like Ken Edwards, it's worth a little bit more. There's like a whole thing.
Cassandra, and I will tell you guys, Bolo Buddies is in the chat, and her whole channel is nothing but bolos. A bolo means be on the lookout for. So if you hear somebody say, oh, this is a bolo, that means it's something that if you're reselling, you should keep an eye out for, because it is probably worth decent money, or it sells really fast. I think some stuff that sells fast for 20 and 30 bucks could be a bolo. If it sells in a day, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have
money piles?
I have a half of a shed
No.
full. It's a half a shed, not a full
Yeah.
shed. It's a big shed, but
Yeah. I have a very large death pile.
Same.
And they're piles of opportunity, ladies.
They are. They are.
It
yeah.
is. And see, that's the ridiculous thing though, too, because like you'll walk by something and you're like, you need to get listed because I know you're good. But yet there it just sits, you know.
Right.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, Pat.
Cute.
hi Pat. Thank you for the super chat. I've not been saying dolphins tonight, guys, because we're just talking too much, and I'm trying to get all the questions that I can.
No, maybe at the
oh,
end, we do one. big
Mimi, Mimi's wanting to know all of our names, so I will leave this out here for a second. Typically, our names get erased because I'm answering questions or comments all night, so you can't see our names. But everybody's names and channel links are in the description below if you want any.
Jocelyn doesn't have her actual name. I mean, she's
No,
crazy. Lady,
My
but
name is Crazy Lamp Lady.
Misty doesn't either. So
Yeah.
we have our names up top and they don't.
No.
Well, Cindy knows my name. I've met Cindy.
She knows
She better know
mine.
mine.
I have to tell you, Jocelyn, it cracks me up on your Facebook group when people are like, oh my God, have you ever seen the Crazy Lamp Lady? I'm like, you're in her Facebook group. Like, what? Or people will be like,
I know, right?
who's crazy lamp lady? I'm like, you're in her Facebook group. Like,
This is
Yeah.
hers.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's funny, I feel bad though when people like respond rudely to them. And I'm like, some people just happened upon the group, but some
Right.
people are like real mean and like rude. And I'm like, there's no need for being rude. It's just like it is
But
funny.
it does
though.
make me giggle.
I think on the banner it says group by Crazy Lamp Lady or something like that. Like,
Literally, look at the header.
See, I need to like just watch Fire and Light auctions and find like the cheapest one possible and do what Cynthia did. Buy it, touch it, feel it, love it for a few days and sell it.
Yeah. Touch it, feel it, love it, know it,
Sell
hug it, lick it.
Oh. How far away is Dale from 1,000 subs? Who wants to tell me?
I'm at 956. You guys are crazy.
44 people. Come on, guys. We have 1,300. 44 of you.
It's very exciting. And I
You're
swear,
very welcome, Miss Loretta.
I hope you'll enjoy my content too. I'm not just like asking for subs for sub's sake. Like,
Lisa wants to know if we could tell about how, my dogs are very loud, sorry, about how we store our inventory.
yeah, somebody has asked questions about like keeping organized. I know there were a bunch of those questions earlier too. So I'm probably not the best at that. So I'll let other people go first.
I use banana boxes.
Yeah, banana boxes are great. And you can get them from your grocery store if you ask real nicely.
And then you can build a giant fort out of them.
Right.
They're multi-purpose.
Well, you needed Andrew for that. Andrew is
Yeah.
good at building forts out of banana boxes. I have a 2,500 square foot building that used to be my brick and mortar store. And so I have a lot of, I did it for 3 years out of my home. So, I mean, I know what it's like to have a very small area to store things in. I think the best thing to do, like what I did when I would keep my inventory out in my garage, is to have like a dedicated couple shelving units out in your garage and kind of keep that. You can still make a little bit of an organized area, but you have to list what you buy, I guess, and you can't have it spread out in 2,500 square foot building, because sometimes the more space you get, the more you're like, that spot over there is empty. I
mean, 3,500 square feet full of.
and looking for another one.
I mean,
Yeah.
Warehouse.
My listed inventory is organized. My unlisted inventory is in banker boxes. And did you make it? Did you make it? Yay!
I'm turning so red.
Yay! I should make you big blushing.
That's so exciting. That first 1,000 is gut wrenching.
Yay! So my unlisted, I put in bankers boxes, and I did that on purpose because I don't want to see it. Because when I go to list it, my plan is I'm going to take a banker's box and everything in that box gets listed. Because when I have clear totes, I'm like, oh, there's that. Let me pull it. There's that. And I'm left with all the stuff that I don't want to list. But when I moved my unlisted inventory into the shed, I made sure that everything in those boxes is something I want to list.
Yeah.
And I gave away the rest. It's gone.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's important. I think that's an important thing to do, because we have such good intentions when we buy things, and some things are you just need to go away. They just need to go somewhere else. Yeah.
Did Kayla oh, there she is. Look, she has been lurking.
Aww.
She told me she was going to skip. She had a lot of stuff to do, but she's lurking.
She's so shy, even in chats.
Kayla.
But yet so personable in her videos.
A lot of people are like that, though. I feel like a lot of people on YouTube are like introverts. So like we're fine like this, but if you see us out, we're like, oh,
Oh yeah.
hello.
I mean, like,
Goodbye.
Jocelyn, I'm sure. Yeah. Like, I don't know how you do it because like, I would be mortified if somebody tried to like talk to me in a store or like said anything to me. Like,
Well,
no, I'd be like, I don't talk about that. Stop.
it catches you off guard because you're just like minding your business, looking at stuff. Then someone's like, "Hey, Misty," and you're like, "Do I know you?" Because you forget, and you're like, "Oh," it's like, "Oh, watch your YouTube channel," and you're like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah."
Oh, yeah.
That's like one time when I very first started, I posted my link on my personal Facebook page. It was like, hey, I'm doing this thing. And then I was like, you know what? I really don't want like people from my work. Like
to know what I'm doing.
To know what I'm doing and to check it out. And a couple times, like I've run into this one person I work with and she's like, I've been watching your channel. And I'm like, oh God, I don't talk about that. Stop.
See, I'm the opposite. I tell people at work and Lisa and Rob know because I go live with a couple of pickers when I drive home on Wednesday nights, tomorrow night. But just you see my picture, like I keep disappearing here. So I like have them on my headset on the way home. And the lady at the garage, when I pull up, she's like, "Nurse Flipper!" every night at work. She does that. And I don't know if she's watching. She might be in the chat right now because she watches, but I told her about it because I love reselling and I love telling everybody, especially if I hear people struggling financially. I'm like, you want to know how you can make some money? So that I'm good with, but not like, I don't know how you can. I am, but I'm not. It's kind of weird. Aaron wants to know if we use multiple sites for selling specific items.
Well, yeah. So I've found, like I said, I got started on Poshmark because it was easy. Like they make shipping easier. They don't ask as many questions for your listing. So I got started there, and now I list like name brand clothing or purses or jewelry there. Like brands seem to drive the sales there. And then basically like all hard goods and anything else goes on eBay.
I list everything everywhere. I pay my mom to come. Okay, just be quiet. I pay my mom to cross post from eBay to Mercari, Facebook. I cross post everything to Facebook, Marketplace, Mercari, and Poshmark. I don't even know why he's doing that. They want to see your new haircut.
Hi, buddy.
Some.
Oh, he's showing you his hair.
It's nice.
It looks nice.
You look like a big boy with a big boy haircut.
You look sleepy.
It's so crazy because he's a late. Whoa, let me fix. He's a late sleeper, so now I messed up my tripod. He sleeps till 11 and he normally won't take a nap till like 6:30 or 7. And today at 5:20, he says, "Mama, blanket." I'm like, "Are you tired? You want to go to bed?" And he says, "No, blanket." So I cover him in the blanket and I'm sitting on the couch next to him. Next thing I know, he's like out like a light at 5:20. So I don't know if maybe his haircut excitement made him more sleepy. I don't know.
It happened.
It was a big day.
Yeah.
Hey. Mommy's trying to see if we got some more questions.
Well, I only list on eBay. That's really the only place I list. We do have booths. Well, we have a booth at Carlisle Antique Mall, and we have a booth at Antiques Marketplace of Lemoyne, which are two local antique malls. And yeah, so a lot of the larger items we put in the booth, but otherwise it's eBay.
But now, are you still planning to open up your own?
Yeah, I mean that's still the plan. But I mean, last year our goal had been to open by the end of the year, and then the pandemic hit, and it was like, now is not a good time to open a business. So
Right.
we just kind of put it on hold. And you know, in the whole scheme of things, when we first started looking at places, it had been just to run our eBay business out of. Like, we were not looking necessarily at retail. You know, one of the spaces we looked at was a warehouse that had no retail. So it was just like, oh, we got a space where we can have commercial retail, and so let's take advantage of it. So now it's like, you know, it's not the end of the world. We can run our eBay business out of there, but I think it would be nice to have a physical brick and mortar, because it would give us an opportunity to, you know, open our doors and meet people. And Misty's like,
I did that, and I just, it's a time killer.
Yeah.
It takes up we had a brick and mortar for 4.5 years, and we had no life. I mean, we just never could do anything. We were there all the time, and I don't know. I mean, I think it's depending on what you want to do. Like, we ran it. You know, we were there, we worked it, we opened it, we closed it. We, you know, if you have people that can be maybe work for you and do it, but I don't know. I like being able to, and now my workspace is at our shop because we own the building. And so I look forward going in there every day, where I didn't necessarily look forward going in there every day, but I had to like be tied down to it.
Yeah, that's one of the things. We had an owner of a local antique mall. She offered me a partnership in her business, and she said, "Well, you could work 30 hours a week, and I'll work 30 hours." And I'm like, work 30? Like, you want me to sit here and like bring people up? Like, I'd rather go film videos and buy stuff and list it on eBay. You know, that's just like, I can't sit and just like, that's, you know, one of my favorite jobs ever was working at Starbucks, because it was like I was on my feet, and it's just like, you know, that just keeps going. And it's like, you never know, like, what's the crisis going to be with someone's caramel macchiato wrong? You know, it's like, you never know.
Caramel macchiato sounds so good right now.
Well, that was my favorite job. So,
and you know, having the brick and mortar, you have to stage things and price things and clean things, and you know, the insurance and I don't know. It's a lot. But the main thing was just the time.
Yeah.
I didn't want to spend the time on it anyway.
Yeah. Well, someone had asked about the death pile, and that's one of the things, like, we have like a death pile right now, but I've been going through it and boxing stuff up and putting it by the back door, because I think we're going to have like a pop-up sale and just drag everything out to the parking lot, and I'll probably give like 5 hours notice on Instagram. We're having a pop-up sale, and like, whoever shows up, you know, shows up. But I think we're definitely probably gonna do something. And you know, Eric talked about maybe coming and setting up and doing something. So I think we're gonna try to liquidate that death pile. But that's kind of
a good idea.
Look, Dale's like, I cannot be there.
I will be
5
there.
Yeah. Nostalgic girl wants to know, what is the beautiful glass you find with the delicate fluted edges?
The what? The
delicate
your
glass
Atterbury.
with fluted edges.
Your Atterbury, maybe?
The Atterbury? Is it this?
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't think she saw it.
Oh.
Maybe elaborate for us, nostalgic girl.
Yeah, I mean, I find a lot of glass, and I like with ruffled edges and pretty, like, Carnival glass has. We listed a lot of Carnival glass recently. We bought like 22 banana boxes of glass, so there was a lot of Carnival glass that went up recently. Have a think.
Kara wants to know how often we shop for inventory. Too much.
Well, I mean, if you make reselling content, and we have to go shopping in order to put videos out. So
it's the fun.
Yeah.
I think my answer is as often as possible. But I mean, honestly, like, I'm probably checking out things online at least once a day. Actually getting to a store for me has been difficult. I mean, I'm still working full time. we're not really crazy about getting out there quite yet. So
Yeah. For me, I think like for a while, I'm trying to like mix up my content a little bit. And before I would go out filming probably 2-3 times a week. But lately I've been trying to do more of like, I'm at the shop today and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and try to like mix things up a bit. So I'm shopping a little bit less. We are buying from auctions a little bit more. So that's been exciting. And we're going through auction boxes. But as far as like going out to stores and shopping, somebody commented today on my video, I think like, are you going to be done thrifting? But that's, I love thrifting. That's, even if we were to like purchase more from the auctions, I don't think I would ever give up thrifting. It's just, there's something so thrilling about it, like I'm always going to thrift. I'm always going to shop.
Hunting. It's like hands-on hunting.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you can touch it because I get plenty of inventory from online auctions, but like I went to the thrift store today because I like to hunt and find the stuff like online, it's all right there in front of you. Yeah. But it's fun to dig through stuff and look through stuff, and you're the one that finds it. So for me, it's more of like, I like to, like, I don't have to source at thrift stores at all. I can find enough online, but I want to go and find stuff.
It's an adult treasure hunt.
Yeah.
It's an adult treasure hunt.
I love it.
And it's very much a high. It is very much of a high, adrenaline.
Yeah.
They want to know if Jocelyn got her dumpster replaced.
No, I did not.
You haven't?
No, it's still sitting there, a like charred up mess, and the freaking burnt ham is like sitting right next to it, and I'm like,
I missed something. Tell us what happened.
Well,
I'll start from the beginning. So we rent the building, and we were having issues with. When we first moved in, the dumpster was locked. And then somebody cut the lock, and we had all this illegal dumping. Like people were just dumping in the dumpster like crazy. And so I contacted the property management company like 3 times. And every time they're like, oh yeah, okay. And then they would close my ticket. And so I did it the last time, and they responded to me, and they closed my ticket. And then I got this satisfaction survey, and I'm like, no, 0 stars. And so they emailed me, and they're like, Jocelyn, we got your survey. What seems to be the problem? I'm like, I want a lock on my dumpster. And they're like, I'm sorry, we can't put a lock on your dumpster. Like, so I called the number on the side of the dumpster, and I'm like, can we put a lock on the dumpster? And they were like, yeah. So I emailed them back, and I CC'd the owner of the property. And wouldn't you know it, like 3 days later, they're like, we're going to put a lock on the dumpster. So they showed up, and they put a lock on the dumpster, and whoever was illegally dumping decided they didn't like that, because that night they torched the dumpster. They like lit it on fire with gasoline, and the fire department had to come and put it out. So our dumpster, like the plastic lid all was melted, and it's all charred up, and there's like a ham that was like in the fire that's just sitting next to the dumpster. It was intense.
Did they mistake it for a barbecue?
I don't know. The lock is still intact though. So when we get the new dumpster, we can use the same lock, which is nice. They caught the guy. They caught the guy and they charged him with arson. So I mean, the happy ending is the guy got busted.
That is a happy ending.
Yeah, that's my dumpster story. But it's not replaced. It's still like there's no lid on it, and it's all charred up. But we're still using it because we're doing renovations on the building. So it's full. It's just sitting there.
Melted plastic and burnt ham and all.
Yeah. I think there's actually 2 hams. I ran over one of them.
Easter ham.
I can't believe animals haven't taken the ham.
I'm like, where's Gary the squirrel? Why isn't he here? I mean, I'm sure Gary the squirrel likes ham.
Like we have those big turkey vultures. Like I think they'd be all over him, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and the crows are like, I'm not touching that ham. I guess it's too burnt. I don't know.
It's too sharp. It's a little overdone.
Yeah,
it's not quite to their liking.
I mean, I feed the crows. Like this morning I went out to feed the crows, and I'm pretty sure there's a guy working up on the rooftop, and he was probably like, and I'm like looking around, I'm like, crows.
Come and get it.
I've got chips. You want chips?
Oh my gosh. Jolene wants to know about Misty's plumbing. I don't know if I'm supposed to ask this or not.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I call it my poop hole. Okay. I'm just going to say it. We have to replace our septic. I know. We have to replace our septic. And they can't do it until, like it's not raining so much. It's going to be $16,000. It still is, Jocelyn, by the way. It still is going to be that much. Well, let's see, about 14,000. It may as well be $16,000. It may as well be $100,000, honestly.
Right.
But so I was going to get we were going to redo our kitchen. Nope, not anymore, because we have to get our. So yesterday during my chat, Jolene just was teasing me about it, and someone put her in timeout for saying it. So Jolene, you're good. You're good, girl.
Without getting in trouble. I
see Addison asked, what is Crazy Lamp Lady drinking? I showed Misty and
Addison?
That's what is it cranberry lime?
Oh, no, it's black cherry. Cranberry lime.
I hate seltzer water.
Love cranberry.
Well, I drink cranberry lime seltzer with red wine.
Oh.
It's so good. It's like a little spritzer. But I showed them before that I won this Easter basket that had 50 mini bottles. So I have 50 mini bottles of alcohol sitting right beside me. So I mean, at any time we all could just.
Oh my God.
They look like they're ready to be photographed.
Talk about package toppers in your eBay sales. Send a little bottle of booze with each purchase.
Have a shot.
People love the gifts in their Poshmark packages. I'll just start
there you go. There you go.
Thriftin' Grana wants to know, when you start selling on eBay, should you have a set price or do auctions? What do we suggest?
Don't do auctions.
I agree. Do not do auctions. Yeah. Research and know what your item is worth and price it accordingly. Auctions can be bad. I do auctions occasionally, and like my husband's doing his Pokemon card auction, but I always suggest starting it at the lowest price you're willing to take for it.
Yep.
Because you might think it's worth something, and the thing is, it might be worth it. And I have bought items on auction to flip for resale because that person might not find it in the first 7 days. They might not be willing to pay for it for a month, and you sold it on auction for $20 and you could have had $200.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we run auctions, but the reason we run auctions is because we have 31,000 followers on eBay, and people know we run auctions, and we start them at $4, and that's kind of our thing, is that we run $4 auctions. And so I think we've built up this expectation that she's going to have $4 auctions, and sometimes things go higher than expected and sometimes they go lower than expected, and it just it all works out for us in the end. But it's because we have built it up. It wasn't like we just started at $4 auctions. When I first started doing auctions, I was doing the least amount, like Kat said, the least amount that I was willing to take, and then we kind of built on that, and then inevitably we got down to $4. But yeah, so I don't suggest anyone does auctions. Really.
Grandma 211, help! I cannot get out for normal resourcing. Where can I shop online for bargains? So hybid.com lets you search local auctions. That it's not an actual auction site, but it's more like a database of auctions in your area. And then shop Goodwill. Prices have gotten more expensive. I know I just won one lot off of there, but the prices have went up. I would suggest Hybid, or just Google for auctions in your area. And if you're like me, I don't know where you live. I live in the middle of nowhere, and I have to drive 2 hours most times to pick up stuff. So you might have to be willing to travel a little bit further. When I search on Hybid, I search for 250 miles only because a lot of mine are like 110 miles away. So if I set it at 100, I don't see them. So if I, and my membership group, I help people find stuff to source. And I had 2 people last time that they had like 2 auctions for 100 miles. Here, I'll make you big. Show your water.
Oh, I switched. Now I'm drinking the raspberry lime.
Yummy. Add wine.
I'm having wine. Otherwise, I'd be all about that.
Yeah. So, high bid, and then Max Sold, MAXSOLD is another one I like. And then I know that near me, I don't know if they're nationwide, but there's one called CT Bids.
Oh, they are.
Carrying
I've been
Transitions.
using that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one I like too. I've bought through there. I think those are the only 3 that I've used.
Is Dave here from vacation? What? What up from the Dominican Republic? Dave.
Oh.
Dave is on vacation and is coming in the chat. What are you doing?
Wow.
Silly Dave.
I was in the Dominican Republic.
Heck yeah.
The one time he doesn't say he's Dave from the USA, he's Dave from the USA in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, that's funny.
I thank you for coming by.
Erin said, careful with those mileages. If she goes 250 miles, she'll be in Canadian auctions.
Well, see, for me, like, but I don't know how hard it is to cross the border. There are a lot, and I have people that watch me from Canada. There are a lot of Canadian auctions that I would love to bid on. And I'm like, oh, shipping's probably going to be a lot. So for those of you in Canada, look on high bid, because I see a lot of Canadian auctions that are good.
I have a lot of Canadian customers, and oh my gosh, I feel so bad when I go to print off their invoices because the shipping is just crazy high.
It is. Jocelyn, and both of you, I don't film at Goodwill hardly at all. Do you have to have permission to film, and do they give you a hard time with filming? She's thinking of starting a channel.
Well, we both agree. I always ask permission. Jocelyn asks permission.
I'm so crazy about, like, I'm pretty sure when we went to Ohio together, I drove Misty nuts.
No, you didn't. You know what? I tell you what.
I have to. I can't go in here unless I have permission.
Yeah. Ever since Jocelyn and I had that conversation, it really did make a lot of sense. And I since then have done it myself because it can work a couple ways. I know that in some Goodwills, in some states, you cannot film.
No,
they will like tell you no.
There's
in Kentucky, I think.
Yeah. I have permission specifically from my region. I have permission to film in all of the Goodwills, and I reached out to corporate. I have a pretty good relationship with them. And so I've, reached out to them about other things, but like, I have a good relationship with them. They've given me permission to film in all of their stores. So I have had employees before be like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I have permission. You can check with corporate. So like, I have permission. Yeah.
Awesome.
And then the local regions, like down in Monocray, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, Valley, which is south, like Maryland. I have permission from them. And one of their stipulations was no filming people, employees or customers. So that's why a lot of the times when you watch my videos, I'm always angled down. I'm always focused on the items. It's because, that's one of the conditions of being able and having permission to film is, not catching other people in filming. And I think that's important. I think a lot of people might not want to be on film. Personally, and I've said this before on my channel, I don't want to, like, even if it's another YouTuber, I want them to ask me, is it okay if I have you in my video? And I'll be like, yeah, no problem. But like, I don't want to be in someone else's video without, I'm probably not going to have a problem with it, but like, I want to be on my terms, so when people are in Goodwill just filming willy-nilly, it's like, they might not want to be on your video.
Yeah.
I take my card with all my information on it. And I'll when I talk to like a shop owner and stuff, I give that to them. And I think that because if you build that it's all about building that relationship with those shop owners, and you build that relationship and they respect you more if you come in and ask permission, you know, and then they can watch your videos and they can see that you are positive and that you're not, you know,
and
talking down about the shop.
Is being positive, like we talked about earlier, is being positive and only saying positive things, because essentially they've given you that permission. And now, you know, that you had that permission, you want to be saying positive things, and you want to, you know, be bringing positive attention to their business. And if you don't have something nice to say, you're better off just not saying it at all.
Absolutely.
I think that should be all the time on everything.
Yes. Golden rule.
That is the golden rule. Little Thrifter on the Prairie. I like that name. I am in North Florida, so I live about 2 hours from any of the major cities. So Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville, Tallahassee. I'm kind of in the middle of all of them, but far from all of them. So that's why I have to travel so much. Jason, have you had trouble selling and shipping furniture on eBay? So I sold 2 pieces this week of Ethan Allen in less than a week, and I made over a $500 profit from a $100 buy, and one of them is already picked up with UShip. I keep telling Jocelyn she needs to do it.
I know, and I'm like, it's so tough.
That's intimidating. You want to talk about intimidating?
Yeah, and I think that's the problem.
UShip is easy. So I have actually gotten a little bolder with UShip. So now it'll say the average price is $290, and I'll list my job for $250. And I've gotten it booked, and now I just got the second piece booked. Same thing, $50 less than average, because I tell the buyer that it could take up to 30 days because it might take a week or two for them to pick it up from me, and then it might take a week or two for it to go to them. I've had no problems. This is my 5th piece of Ethan Allen that I've sold, and I just picked up 5 pieces, and I will continue to pick up as many as I can that are undervalued. But most Ethan Allen is not undervalued. People know what they have typically with Ethan Allen, so it's hard to find, but if you can find it, I say it's easy. I do have a furniture shipping video. It's not hard, and I like it because you don't even have to pack furniture up. Like, the movers come in and take it out of your house and put it in their van, and you never touch it.
I need to look that up.
It's so easy.
It is easy.
I know, but
it sounds scary.
It
because I have so many like big pieces of furniture in my shop that I would like to sell. So yeah,
it's so easy.
Yeah, I don't know. But it is. It seems so hard. I'm gonna watch your video. I'm gonna watch your video, Kat, and I'll be confident.
It's not hard. Hi, Clay. I'm not ignoring you. Clay is one of my good friends. He lives over in Texas. I saw you say hi, Kat. The chat has like slowed down a little bit. I can catch like snippets now, a little bit. Thank you for coming, Clay. Yeah, see, a bedroom set of Ethan Allen. So the person I watch, actually, I saw him on a Facebook group, and everybody keeps asking him to make a YouTube, and he's like, nope. But he shares his information freely on Facebook. This guy makes like $40,000 a month on eBay. He lives in South Florida. There's lots of Ethan Allen in South Florida, but he sells like the dining room suites and the hutches and full bedroom set. I don't have room for that. So I do like coffee table and a small writing desk and an end table. So, but maybe we'll buy a bigger shed if the furniture keeps flipping fast.
What did he say?
He said sheds for everyone.
You get a shed. You get a shed.
We're gonna have like a little shed compound out here.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much, Carol. Butterfly Household. I appreciate it.
I have a postage stamp of a backyard, and Kat keeps telling me, just fill it with sheds.
You won't have to mow.
Yeah, I'm like, but where will the dogs do their business?
Front yard.
Oh my God. Tammy, good luck. I mean, it was scary for me too. I'm not gonna lie. But now that I've sold like 5 pieces, it's like, oh, okay, I'll just do this. And It's not hard. It was the scariest part for me was after I sold the piece and I quoted the shipping amount from the average on UShip, was waiting for somebody to accept that job. And it took like 3 days the first time. So I'm like, is anybody going to pick this furniture? Do I have to drive it to New York City myself?
Is it like that show, that trucking show where they would like, what was that called?
I know what you're talking about.
You can list it and people bid, but the first shipper that I had pick up, he told me you're more likely to book it if you tell them what you're willing to pay. So now I put like $250, and my piece actually is going to Pennsylvania, from here to Pennsylvania, and then they can accept it. And when they accept it, though, you have a choice of whether you accept them. So you can go look at their feedback. I had one guy that was trying to move my $900 jewelry armoire in the back of a pickup truck. And I'm like, yeah, no. So you can go look at their feedback and make sure like that they have good feedback, and it'll tell you like the little coffee table went in a 30-foot trailer from a guy.
They're like going and they're picking up other things.
Yeah, I was in here 2 years from Italy. He hung out. He told me I'm a farmer because he sat and chit chatted for like an hour. He was very nice. But like he said, name your price rather than having people bid. So the first time I had people bid, and it was just like, it takes too long. Whereas if I name what I want and somebody accepts it that has good feedback, then I'm done, which is what just happened in less than a day with the last end table that just sold. So 2 of the 3 pieces sold in under a week that I got last. So a lot.
Wow.
Addison, I have seen Addison a lot in Jocelyn's chat. So I will put Addison up here. Addison, I think, is 15, if I recall correctly. I want to say she's 15.
Wow,
So
Addison.
I'm pretty sure 15. Addison, how old are you? 15?
Addison, tell us.
I'm pretty sure.
Marjorie wants to know, are most buyers on now? Addison is awing in the chat. She is 15. Look, we remembered correctly. Addison, thank you for coming over to my channel. I appreciate it.
She's almost 15.
I used to do the same thing. I used to be like, well, I'm 16 in 5 months.
We don't do that anymore, though.
No, I'm
now I'm like, no, I'm still
5 months ago.
29 forever.
Right? I'm okay with 40 forever, actually. I'm almost 26.
To being okay with that. That's
44.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Look,
Sean, thank you.
I don't want my birthday to come because I always say like 44 ladies, that's me.
Listen, when I turn 50, I'm going to have the Sally O'Malley party. Sally O'Malley, I'm 50, you know? I'm 50.
Honest.
Yes.
Marjorie wanted to know if we think are most buyers honest. I would say yes. And I like to believe the best in people. And that's just who I am.
What do you mean like by honest though? Like honest as in
I think I would think if she means like scamming or, you know, trying to like get one over.
Like something broken or it didn't arrive in the condition, or I mean, I've had my most frustrating sale, which I have talked about in my videos, was my daughter had this cotton candy machine, you know, like one of those nostalgia machines that, I mean, of course we used it like 4 times and then it was just sitting. So I decided to sell it, and I decided to put, I think I put like $9.99 flat shipping on it for some reason instead of calculated shipping. And so it sold. I was super excited. And then I realized it sold to someone in Hawaii. So I was like, oh man. And like, till I got it in the box and protected it, it was like, I think that through FedEx, it was going to cost me like $50 to ship it. And it sold for like $50. So basically I was like just breaking even on the sale. And then they got it and said it didn't work. I remember the worst sale ever. Like I Don't talk to me about cotton candy. We won't talk to you about your septic. Don't talk to me about cotton candy.
Yeah. I think that we all, that's happened to all of us though. That has happened to me. I think I vowed I will never sell a VCR ever again. Cause when like all these, people were like, oh, buy VCRs, these vintage VCRs, but you have to really make sure that you're putting your weights and your size of your box in the calculated shipping, because we lost money on a VCR once, but then you learn from it.
I tell
I
you
will
what,
tell you, you can put an 18 by 12 by 6 and it still ships under that 12 by 12 by 12. And I bought 18 by 12 by 6s just for VCR because it does not go over 18 by 12 by 6. Yes. And most of them will fit. We are getting close to wrapping it up, guys. We will answer Martha's question and then I'm going to go with Kara's suggestion and we will wrap it up with Jocelyn telling the rude religious statue lady if she But first, say what your favorite item is that you have. I will say I don't have a favorite item. I can let almost anything go. I have not found that one thing that I just had to keep. But I will tell you, the more I'm learning and the more I'm seeing, I probably will, once all of my stuff is moved out of the house into the shed and I have room for my own stuff, I very well might start keeping some stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the same as Kat. It's like,
Me too.
Think of it as a revolving collection, and it's like we bring the stuff in and, I've even said, when I get tired of it, I'll sell it, so I enjoy it for a while and then, maybe I'll sell it. I will say, some of my favorite pieces are my Hager lamps. I love my Hager lamps, but, I've been looking at some of my giraffe lamps and I'm like, I don't really need those anymore. So yeah, so I don't know.
Money.
Yeah.
There's too much stuff. I have too much stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling that I need to be more of a minimalist.
But you can put it and enjoy it, like my pretty paintings that are for sale. And then if it sells, I get to go find another pretty painting to hang there until it sells.
Yeah,
so it's revolving.
True. Oh,
Do
yeah.
you guys have anything, Misty and Dale, that you wouldn't sell?
No, well, I found a Brighton necklace that I am pretty partial to, that I'm not ready to sell that one yet.
But you said yes. So that's like the same thing.
Exactly.
I will sell anything, honestly.
Sell it.
My collections do evolve. Like I will say, oh, I'm going to collect these, and I'll like fill a shelf up, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done collecting those, and then I'll sell them, and then I'll collect something else. Yeah.
All right, Jocelyn, we're gonna wrap up.
Oh.
Jocelyn did post in her Facebook group about this story.
Oh, it was horrible.
I will let her tell it again because you guys will get this. You will get these people.
Oh yeah. Well, she wasn't the first, and she won't be the last. I can guarantee it. But we had a buyer who purchased a religious Mother Mary statue, and you would expect that she would be very Christian-like and very nice person. That was completely not the case because the item sold on Friday, and we have our shipping time set to 3 days. We have 3-day shipping time. So technically the item was to be shipped out on Wednesday. That's just to give us a little cushion. Usually we ship out items earlier than that. But so the item shipped on Friday, and she sent us a message. I think it was on Sunday or Monday. Where is my item? Why is it not here yet? Wait, you paid for it Friday night and you wanted it on Sunday. Like, what? And so she was like very demanding, where is my item? And so we finally, here, and I even took a screenshot and I circled 3 days and I sent it to her, and she says, your practices are very misleading, and she like went off in this whole, and then she didn't like the fact that I was like, well, enjoy your Mother Jesus statue. She did not like when I told her that. And she went off on me, and she said all sorts of horrible bad swear words at me. And it was she used the
After buying the Mother Mary statue.
WHO. She called me a Goodwill picking. And I was like, whoa, that escalated quickly.
That escalated quickly.
Well, she was a viewer, so she might even be watching tonight. I don't know, but that was like it was horrible. And then in her feedback, she wrote "F you."
Get out!
She spelled it all out.
It's feedback, and it has like a picture of the Mother Mary statue, and it's like "F you," and I'm like, what is happening right now? Whoa! It's like feedback for base, Carnival glass, Mother Mary statue.
F you.
So I called the other day and I'm like, I need this taken off right now. Like right now. And they're like, oh, we'll get to it when we get to it. I'm like, she said, you know what she said? So they took it down. They took it down. I reported her. Unfortunately, she only had one transaction and one review, and we have our feedback automated because we sell 25 to 30 items a day.
So you gave her positive feedback.
She had one positive feedback from us. It was horrible. It was horrible. I mean, but she wasn't the first, and she won't be the last. We've had other crazy people, and it's just it is what it is. It's the price of doing business on the internet, and
you will get them. And you just have to keep on trucking.
Yeah. You just have to take a step back and be like, whoa, this person's got issues. It's them, not you. You know what I mean?
For sure. Cameron, don't time out Addison. Sorry, Addison.
Oh, Addison. Oh,
no. Cameron, Addison said that the lady needed to watch her mouth. I don't think she meant Jocelyn. I think she meant the lady that bought from Jocelyn.
Yes.
But it's okay. We are going to go, guys. Definitely make sure if you're new to me, I would appreciate if you subscribe. We're here every Tuesday. And we have Yvonne Thrifty Rich next week and Lindy Glenn and Miss Dale. Everybody's channel links are down in the description, including my sick co-host, Julian, who is not here. Much to Dale's delight, unfortunately.
I mean, I'm sorry, Julian. I hope you're feeling better.
So we appreciate you guys watching, and we will see you next Tuesday at 8 p.m.